welcome to this Outlook cover discussion. And we have with us Begum Tayyaba Lipi from Germany, where she is currently exhibiting at the Documenta art exhibition. And she is an artist based out of Bangladesh. And we have seen her works in Delhi, very powerful works. And you've seen on the cover how, there's a woman who's actually wearing a veil of razor blades. And this is our issue on Me Too movement and what happens to it in the context of the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial. And we decided to go with this image because it's really powerful. And for us, it's basically, the inner thing never comes out, like what a woman feels. And there's all this inner and outer lives of women. And it's very basically, the trolling that happened, the kind of stigma that she faced. I'm not here deciding whether Amber Heard was wrong or whether Johnny Depp was right. But the fact that as voyeurists, what we did to her, and how nobody kind of understood what she may have gone through, in the sense it's still a man's world. So we wanted to talk to Tayyaba about this particular piece of work, which is called Unveiling Womanhood. And if Tayyaba, you can talk about this a little bit.
I did this project for the Kathmandu Triennale, actually. So I was just going through the kind of psychological changes in among the women in my society. So I found that a lot of people want to cover themselves. It's not like they're pushed to do it, or they're in a pressure to do it from the family, but maybe there is a pressure. I should not say that there is no pressure. There is a pressure it's an indirect pressure from the society, that if you don't cover yourself, you are going to be abused, or you are going to be raped, or something. Is normal when somebody is raped, somebody is abused. The first thing comes like what she was wearing. People just point her and say that you were abused because you were not covered. So they first thing they do, that they want to figure out that what the girl was wearing. If she was wearing a burqa, or if she was wearing a dress, or if the dress had like if it is sleeveless, or if it is something that would like attract the man to do it. So it's not the problem of the man, it's the problem of the girl. So that happens in our society so much. Recently, there was an incident, actually. There was a girl who was wearing a sleeveless top, going to somewhere in North Shingdi, another district, where she had some other friends also with her. And there were kind of attack on her and her friends.
Oh.
Even the women were attacking. Like, they were putting their hands on her body and saying that she's wearing a sleeveless top. So the girl had to run away from there. So that kind of things are like incidents are happening here and there. So maybe that's also another kind of feeling. And women are also, I think, surrendering all these like things that are coming from actually man. This is not women's choices at all. So I don't know, how it is happening, but when I did that project, I just found that a lot of my friends or family, or like, people who I know for a long time, they had a different life before, but they started covering themselves, putting like hijab or, or burqa and all this. And all of a sudden on Facebook, you see that, oh, this is my new look. So, so that actually, came to my mind that, okay, this will be my new look. So this unveiling womanhood came from there, like putting
was your new look.
And then once they cover themselves, what they never do, that they the makeover, the makeup, that they start doing.
Yeah.
So much makeup and so much like, too much exposed face that you would be confused that why actually these two things are not going together.
Yeah, and also that is a function of patriarchy as well, the unrealistic beauty standards and
yeah,
totally.
yeah.
Although I would still say that, okay, maybe women want to do makeup, but I don't think that the pressures are coming from somewhere else, to look a certain way, to kind of appease in a certain way. And I think the other question would be like this whole neoliberalism and the capitalism thing, which obviously runs against the interests of women in that sense, because you have all these beauty products that you advertise and you set up these unrealistic beauty standards, and women just fall prey to them. And you also have a collective, which is quite an interesting thing, and which kind of leads me also to, and that would be my next question about sisterhood, which we don't see much, right? Like this, whether it's in women, the bro code is much stronger. But coming back to the collective thing, I mean, why did you think it was important to have a collective in the sphere of arts? And also, you're coming from Bangladesh, which, like India and Pakistan, all these places are deeply, deeply patriarchal societies, right? And to be there and to address the gender thing in such powerful terms using razor blade, I mean, that's another thing. Why do you use that medium? And so if you could answer about the collective, where did the idea come from, and what is this collective for?
Britto Astras, the collective, I founded with five other artists in 2002 formally. That actually came from the need. It was necessary to have it was a huge need actually, that we were young that time, but also not that young.
Yeah, and we're hopeful.
Yeah, hopeful that something will come up. So we wanted to be together. We realized that, the individual practice is one thing that you do in your studio. But if you always think about your own career and don't think about your communities, then, nothing is coming out of the whole society. So that's why we thought that, okay, it's enough to work like
as individual silos or whatever, but
right,
it's also
right. But countries like Bangladesh, it was needed a community to be stand up with their own work, and then talk about their own work and do whatever they want to do. So because in that kind of environment in Bangladesh, where there was very conventional educational system and policies, so you cannot do much, and it was like a trap that you cannot go out of anything. So it was needed that you create your own space for yourself and secure others, like, so that it came up. And we do a lot of projects that are dealing with I would say the larger community, like not only artistic community, but beyond that. We work with the artisans, we work with the makers, but it's all like, in the end of the day, it's all come up at the contemporary, add to the contemporary art scene. So so it's not that, like, I mean, you were also like supporting the craftspeople or makers or the artisans, but at the same time, if you want to do something out of it, like creating something as an artist, then you can do it. So there is a lot of freedom that artists can use and then can think about, a lot of windows that we wanted to create actually. So it became an alternative educational platform for many. So although we don't claim, but now we see there are a lot of other small or bigger, like, organization platforms came up over the years, and we feel like of course, we did something maybe good.
That is another reason for us, like even like trying to like go with that cover, because the cover also kind of like is coming from a space where you do believe in collectives, and that's something which is collective action. Again, in a very capitalist kind of world where they say that the political action, the origin of political action is in the individual, and that's that whole Me Too, movement crisis and the rift between the two sides of feminism, which one says collective action, which is social feminism, and the individualist feminism. And I don't think individuals can do much on their own, because that's more like, you're responsible for doing this. But these are systemic forms of violence, and there's a whole culture of violence around us. And I think, collectives are an answer to that, and we should all kind of band together. And that's another reason for so there's a lot of thought that goes into doing the cover. The other thing I wanted to ask was this use of razor blade, and you have mentioned in your interviews before, like how you were the 11th of 12 children, and this razor blade is your childhood memory of cutting the umbilical cord and that. But what else? This razor blade is also like and you work with a lot of domestic objects, like you do women wardrobe kind of stuff as well. But why razor blade? I mean, what does it mean?
Although this the way you said that it really separate the child from the mother, but at the same time, razor blade is part of the man's life.
Yeah,
I saw my brothers and my father and everybody, using it
to shave.
to shave.
Yeah.
So that is another thing. But also, like I was grown up in a pretty small town. There was when I was in the school, there was no concept of the pencil cutter or anything. Huh? It was always like, we had the mola twist, like the cover of the book that we have to do with the old calendars all the time. So in the middle of that run, in between two layers, there always we had to keep the razor blade. So it's kind of, a tool for many things. I won't say that it's only the related to this female body, but it's for male body also, and a lot of other things. So this razor blade or safety pin, they were like a kind of your personal entity that you carry all the times. Whenever needed, you use that. That's how it came. A lot of incidents, a lot of accidents, were taken place, and something happened. Like in the middle of the night, there was a team. I can't remember the name, that could come to your house and take you away from your house anytime. It can be in the middle of the night also. So some of our friends were like, journalist friends, they were like kind of disappeared. Nobody knew where they. So then I actually arrived with a very heavy mind that day. And just feeling that what I can do, the time was very short also. Residency time was like 15 days. So I was I was going through the bazaar, local bazaar, and looking for some sharp, shiny object that I can, sharp one that can cut your body or something, So that I can use for my work. So when I saw there are like two different colored razors in the bazaar, in the marketplace. One I haven't seen for a long time, which is like a black one. And I think many countries actually stopped producing the razors. So when I saw them, I thought that, okay, this will be my material to do the whole thing. So that's how it started. And then, I was just trying to why it came to my mind actually, and why I want to use it. And I used them for my paintings before, or two-dimensional work, but never used for making a installation or sculpture.
Powerful in the sense that from far they look like these delicate, like really shiny decorative things, and then you go up close and these are all razor blades which can kind of tear you apart, which actually is very, very interesting, juxtaposition of the two.
Yeah, that time I could not fabricate them. So I just used the, the razor that I found in Bajir.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there were like few thousand razors.
Mm-hmm.
And it was in the end of the exhibition hall, but people were like so attracted because of his look. They wanted to touch it. So that's another, I think, position of the work that you want to touch, but that can cut your finger or hand or whatever. Yeah, you can see a lot of crystal on my face.
Yes, I was going to come to that, which you
So
removed.
that's my makeup.
Well, that gives that's a
Yeah,
very
that's
cool
actually
thing.
saying everything, that you put something
Yeah.
onto you that covers your real skin.
Yeah.
And then while you remove it, you see the real skin. So
Yeah.
I think a lot of people needs to remove that.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true. Well, thank you so much for being with us. And thank you so much for letting us use your artwork as the cover of one of the most important issues, actually, something that's very
Thank you
close to my
so
heart.
much for giving me that
Thank you.
opportunity. Oh God.